The latest. Thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all.
One of these things, it's motors. I grew up as a shifter. I trained in Mozambique in the June. I trained in Mozambique in the June on a plan dress. Ziruya, you do. Zamira was there when you go. These are things Yahweh. Murungwa, some. Let's say, yes, sir. Kichima Bachel. Kichima.
So allegedly, the caption in that video says some plant in South Africa is now moving its manufacturing equipment to Mozambique. People are leaving South Africa.
Companies are moving out from South Africa. I tell when I say hunger, they go start soon. All the companies don't they move out. This xenophobia man, make sure you are bringing your own company. Make sure you are putting company there.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Controversial Podcast. My name is Jacinta. Thank you for joining me. Somebody sent me this video. They wanted to give my take on it. And yeah, it looks like the whole Africa is happy that this company has left going to Mozambique. But however, well, it is what it is. Were South African wrong to march for what they believe was right for their country? They were not wrong. Are these consequences of non-stop marches? Yes. Foreign investment always leave when people are marching. It's not a new thing. Probably march and march is going to create new companies. Probably government is going to create new companies. Anyway, in South Africa, people rely on government for everything. So this is not a new thing. But let's be honest for a second. Everywhere where there are disruption in terms of businesses, obviously companies always leave. And maybe unfortunately, Match and Match does not have a proper plan on how to counter these issues. Because business people, they only have one God, and their God is profit. If they cannot make profit, they've got no reason to stay. Even where they are going in Mozambique, if they don't find profit, obviously they will leave again. Because that's how this thing works. Businesses exploit people. And nobody's going to have employees that are going to tell him what to do in his company. That is never, ever, ever going to happen. So, obviously this was meant to happen, and more companies are going to leave. There is also one thing perhaps that the government of South Africa need to look into, is the fact that the block of neighbors surrounding South Africa, what they are doing to benefit from this. Zimbabwe has managed to convince countries to create a block where they can open borders among themselves to make sure the citizens can stay freely wherever they want to stay. Number two is they've all cut taxes down. They've put tax exemptions for companies that are going to be living in South Africa so they can open in their countries. And unfortunately, it is what it is. And let's just pray that it doesn't come to a point where all the foreign investors leave. Because for sure, even black politicians, South African politicians, who are telling people to march, they've got businesses in the continent and they don't have them here. So they don't open them here. They open those in the continent. So they're not losing nothing when these businesses are closing. Their money is still going to be secured because they're creating employment for people in the continent instead of South Africans. And that's how I think South Africans need to be very smart, especially black South Africans, about this and find a proper approach that is going to solve the problem.
South Africans, watch this video.
It's motors. I grew up as a shifter. I trained in Mozambique in the June. I trained in Mozambique in the June on a plan dress. Ziruya, you do. Zamira was there when you go. These are things Yahweh. Murungwa, some. Let's say, yes, sir. Kichima Bachel. Kichima.
So allegedly, the caption in that video says some plant in South Africa is now moving its manufacturing equipment to Mozambique. People are leaving South Africa.
Guys, it's already happening. It's already happening. Companies are leaving South Africa. Companies are leaving South Africa. Remember, there's a previous video I posted where, what did he say? His name is Fiso, Sifso. How did he even call it? Sifso. Sifso. That is Sifso. He was telling a white South African that has a company that he must employ the locals. He was telling a white South African that he must employ the locals, and they are giving him a deadline that on Monday, which is yesterday, that they are coming with full force. Yesterday, I waited throughout the whole day. We didn't see that video. But anytime I see it, I'm going to post it. Now, what am I saying? They are not going after the white companies. They are not going after the white employees, forcing them to employ South African locals. And we are those locals, those that themselves, the match and match is going to bring. The people that are going to bring for the company to employ. Now, those people that they are going to bring for the company to employ, they are not qualified. They are not qualified. They don't have the skills. They don't have the skills. They have been doing it, going from one company to another, taxing and forcing them to employ South Africans who don't have the skills of that job. Remember, I have told you guys that South Africans are unemployable. Now look at the companies. They're already leaving South Africa. They are leaving. Investors are no more coming in. The economy of South Africa is now going down drastically. It is going down. But they are not going to accept it because of their arrogance. But nevertheless, this is an evidence. This is an evidence that companies are already leaving South Africa. And if care is not taken, they are going to be worse. They are going to be worse than a country in Africa.
In unemployment rates?
Firstly, we need to make sure that the current factories that are shutting down and are leaving this South Africa have to be maintained and empowered and given the resources that they need in order to absorb the current unemployed youth.
So South Africans, remember when I made a video telling you guys that you guys are in stage 1 of the disaster heading your way? You guys did not listen. Stage 2, I made a video too. You guys did not listen. Stage 3, you guys did not listen. 4, you guys did not listen. This is stage 5. Your country now is on autopilot. Businesses have been leaving. Since last month, since after the June 30th, businesses have been leaving. Over 1,226 companies have left South Africa. Just in the matter of 2 months. Companies, businesses. Imagine. Those are jobs that left. When you chase foreigners out, you chase job away. And when these girls say they need to maintain the companies that are still left in South Africa, the ones that are still left, they have to leave because they can't hire all South Africans, and all South Africans want to be hired. You cannot be hired. You need to create jobs for yourselves, dummies. You cannot wait for all companies to hire you guys. You need to create jobs for yourselves. She's saying they need to maintain the companies that are left in South Africa. You mean hold them hostage? Because the way your people are looting and going to their businesses, demanding for work, causing trouble to their business, they will be liquidated because they won't have free time to do business. Your people causing trouble every day, your people looting their businesses every day, they will eventually get liquidated. They'll have to close down. So you guys should wait. More companies are going to leave South Africa.
South Africans, some of us have started playing a very dangerous game. Some people are walking into the shops owned by foreign nationals, driving them out with the sole intention of taking over those businesses for next to nothing. What comes to mind is the story of a hair salon owner from DRC who was initially thought to be from Mozambique, but she has since clarified the issue that her country of origin is DRC. The lady owned a very beautiful, well-equipped hair salon, at least judging by the images that were provided. And some South Africans wanted to take over that hair salon for a measly 10,000 rand. We can all agree that that was highway robbery. These people either do not understand how business operates, or they are simply greedy, petty thieves and looters. And quite frankly, their action goes against what we as South Africans stand for. And I believe that most of us who are firmly against uncontrolled illegal migration would not want to be associated with that kind of despicable behavior. South Africans engaging in this behavior must understand that the businesses they have looted from foreign nationals will not flourish, but instead they will collapse instantly. Please allow me to explain why, because in our country we have a perfect example. Our President Cyril Ramaphosa, is said to be a billionaire. When he became president, a lot of people in the country were hopeful. They thought that because he was a business person, he was the right person to grow our economy, something that he has failed dismally to do. And it is not a coincidence that he failed. The reason is simple. President Cyril Ramaphosa, strictly speaking, is not a business person. Prior to 1994, he was like the rest of us. The ANC got into power, and through political connections, and most likely to fulfill the objectives of the ANC at the time, he had everything given to him on a silver platter, and he became a multimillionaire overnight. President Cyril Ramaphosa does not know how to start a business from scratch, watch it fail, put up with all the adversities associated with starting and running a business through difficult times, and learn from those experiences. That is also the reason why he has not understood why uncontrolled illegal migration is detrimental for the country's economy and prosperity. He does not understand that no self-respecting country should ever depend on foreign nationals for its economy and for it to function properly. A country must grow its own people to take up strategic positions within the economy and strategic places within all institutions that matter for the well-being and self-sustainability of the country. Personally, I think Herman Mashaba would have done 1,000,000 times better than President Cyril Ramaphosa in the area of growing our country's economy and helping to grow small businesses in the townships and rural areas, because he became a multimillionaire through sweat and blood, having started his business from scratch at the height of apartheid, grew it against all odds into what it became. This is why Herman Mashaba understood much earlier than all other politicians why illegal migration was a disaster for the city of Johannesburg and its finances when he was mayor of Johannesburg. So my advice to people who just want to walk into established foreign-owned businesses and think that they will be successful and accumulate wealth, please rethink your actions. It is not going to happen. First and foremost, because such behavior tramples on God's 2 commandments. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not covet the possessions of others. As a country, we do not want stolen things, because the Bible tells us in Proverbs chapter 20 verse 17, food gained by fraud tastes sweet to a man, but he ends up with a mouthful of gravel. Our economy must be built on sweat and blood.
What is actually happening in South Africa? Allegedly, companies are moving out of South Africa because of this march and march. They are packing their bags and leaving South Africa to Mozambique. When I saw it, I was shocked. Is it that our brothers and sisters who thought that they were fixing Jacinta and her gang didn't know that there are some economic implications? When we are talking about companies, they are only thinking about profit. The main reason to which you see people running businesses or companies is to make profit. And they need a peaceful and stable environment to operate. The moment they see that that environment is no longer suitable for their business or for their purpose, they will move. The motive was for other blacks to leave so that these companies will hire South Africans, so South Africans will get something to do. Now, looking at what is happening currently, these business owners don't think the way the South Africans are thinking, whereby they think that foreigners are the ones who are occupying the positions where they belong. Now they have left. Companies are moving. Who has run into a loss? And you still have them defending everything that they do. The world doesn't run the way you think. And the business owners don't run their businesses the way you think or the way you expect it to be for you. And that is why they have seen that the place is no longer conducive and they have to move out. You have never solved the problem. And when you were doing all these things, you never had any plan. What are we going to do for our people? See, the first thing you should have done was not to sack the foreigners. The best thing was for you to go closer to the foreigners. Those who have the spaza shop, the saloon, and everything that you think your brothers who are coming from other places came into South Africa and they were doing, and you think that they were thriving. You should have gone closer to them to find out, how do we open a spaza shop? What do I need to do to run these shops? How is it that you always get opportunities than us? Teach us the skills that you have. Life is about skills, it's about creativity. That's why they said learning does not end. Learning is not in the classroom, it's not in the school, it is outside. Because what we even go to school to learn is just a pinch of it. What we face in real life is the real school. So you should have done your homework well by going closer to them to learn the skills that they have and not to chase them away. You've chased them away, yet the problem is still there. Things haven't changed. Everything is still not working per the way you plan it. So look at the people you were expecting to stay in South Africa so South Africans can get employed, living there. Because the profit is no longer coming. It could be that they make their money out of the foreigners and now they have left, because we have seen empty shops. We have seen places that are closing down because they are alleging that foreigners are not there. Your spaza shops are closed. Everything is at a standstill in South Africa. So, life is for you to understand that we need ourselves to survive. We need ourselves to survive. So you have to do everything possible in your power to learn to coexist. You need to learn to coexist with other people. No man is an island. No man is an island. No man is an island. So you need other people for your survival. Now the people are leaving. Companies are leaving. Everybody is running out of South Africa. People are saying they don't want to have people, they don't want to have South Africans back. They don't want to have South Africans in their own countries. Things are very messy for you. So you really have to make sure you learn. Life is all about learning. Learning from other people. That is the best way you can ever get to your destination. So don't think that people are the ones who are causing you pain. People are not the ones causing you pain. People are not the ones taking your jobs. But you have to also do your best in order to learn from other people so you can survive.